We're going to start at 30,000 feet. I've got key concepts that I call the Cardinal Rules of Q&A that you should be thinking about at a high level when you're talking to people. Number one, keep your responses brief. My rule is that you should keep your responses around 30 to 45, maybe 60 seconds when somebody asks you a question. Think about it. If you cannot answer a question in under a minute, you're probably not doing it correctly. You are probably bringing in content that doesn't even relate to the original topic. So as a rule of thumb, keep your responses brief. And by the way, if you ever find yourself rambling, what might you say? And my point is, that will refocus you and get you back to what you need to do. So that's concept one. Keep it brief, between 30 to 45, 60 seconds. Concept two, you must address every question. You must speak to every question. You must satisfy every question. Notice I didn't say what? Answer the question. In fact, in a lot of circumstances, you won't want to answer it. A lot of people say what happened today on this project is disgusting. Is that a question you want to answer? Is that even a question? No, that's an editorial statement. So get out of your head that you got to answer these questions. What you have to do is what I call satisfy the question. Speak to the question, address the question, touch the question in some way, and I'll show you how to do that. Concept three, and every response with the 20% that you want them to remember, and every response with your positive messages. This is the problem. Most people go into conversations, they get asked a question, they answer it, and they never seek the opportunity to get to the 20% that they want them to remember. Concept four, don't get angry or frustrated. Now, I don't think you're going to get visibly angry, but you might get frustrated when you're talking to somebody if they're not quite understanding what you're trying to say. You need to be careful of this thing that is called mirroring. What do you think mirroring is? Mirroring is copying the nonverbal and verbal communication of the other person, copying their body language, doing what they're doing. And boy, I could tell you, humans do this. When I was a news reporter, I'd get right into somebody's face and I'd say, what happened today is disgusting. And by golly, their face would contort. They start talking in an angry tone. They get 2 inches from me. And what would we put on TV that night? Because they mirrored my demeanor. So you got to be careful of that. That if somebody's upset, that you're not repeating some of that tone of voice, that body language. Have you ever been in your personal life or at work been upset about something? You called customer service and within 30 seconds the person on the other end of the line starts to get snarky with you? Why is that happening? Because they're mirroring your negative tone of voice. You know, we talk a lot about body language, but is there body language on the phone? Absolutely. Your voice is your body, part of your body language. The tone of your voice, the volume of the voice, are you being sarcastic? So a lot of times that comes through even on phone calls. So you got to be careful of that if you're talking to somebody that you're not mirroring their tone of voice, their volume of their voice, and things like that. So those are just, again, 30,000 feet concepts to think about when you're talking to people. One, you got to keep it brief. 30 to 45, maybe 60 seconds. Two, address every question, satisfy the question. You can't ignore it, but then quickly get away from the question. I'll show you how to do that. And end every response with what you want to say. And be careful not to mirror the other person's nonverbal communications, especially in a negative situation, because you're going to bring all that negative into the conversation.